Hello, Aries P.O.I. Welcome to the Black Hearted Oracle. Now, before we get started, I'd like to pay homage and reverence to Mother Sustainer, Father Creator, and of course my beautiful ancestors. Okay, this is a person of interest reading for Aries. So this is coming from the viewpoint of Aries person of interest. And that could be anyone. That could be a classmate, a workmate, somebody that you're interested in dating, a friend, whatever person of interest is to you. Okay, let's get started. First, you have home, number 35, number 1, volcano, 5, wheel, honey calcite, and tektite. So we'll get into the messages. And this is the theme of the reading, home. How do you keep recreating home? In the context of this teaching, let us use the word home to describe your unconscious ability to attract intimate partners with the positive and negative qualities your parents instilled in you. This card honors the wounded child in you that keeps recreating home, hoping to get your childhood developmental codependency needs met. You might even provoke the other to act or look like your original parent. In a world where so many of our natural emotions were not encouraged, and worse yet, suppressed, you are now encouraged to feel the feelings trapped inside you that consistently sabotage your life. For some of us, home was an amazing, empowering, and happy place. But for the most of us, it was lacking. There was unease and hurt. This is imprinted on your nervous system, which forces the dysfunction you had with your parents to rise to the surface with your current partner and people close to you. Next, we have volcano. And it is Aries from 0 degrees to 12.51 degrees Aries, ruled by Mars and the Sun. It says, the new moon moves through the house of Aries and touches the rulers of the first two decants, Mars and the Sun. These two planets in the first sign are highly creative and initiating. This card expresses inspiration, spontaneity, and recklessness, and indicates a need to act immediately, to release power that can be contained no longer. It is a card of extreme action and impatience. This moon mansion is hot, fiery, and full of creative impetus. It represents a period of inactivity during which there is an accumulation of energy that later will erupt like a volcano. Conserve and build up your resources. And then we have 5 wheel. And this one is from 21.6 degrees Taurus to 0.417 degrees Gemini, ruled by Saturn and Mercury. It says, in the 5th lunar mansion, the serious, security-minded planet Saturn conjoins Mercury, the planet of communication, in the explicable and sharp-thinking sign of Gemini. As a result, Saturn takes on a less astute, austere quality than usual, influenced by the rather lightweight planet Mercury, and at the same time enhances the staying power of Mercury. If you draw this card, you have the ability to make good connections and to work with others to keep the wheels of the particular enterprise turning. It is important to the success of your endeavors to move in the right social circles and to make useful contacts. A wheel often denotes gaining permission or acceptance by someone in a position of power. This card is essentially about who you know and how well they like you. Good networking. Next, we have honey calcite. And it says, what is it? Honey-hued mineral on a mission to turn a bewildered and bumbling into super-driven worker bees. Who needs it? Anyone with a job to do? The brilliant but lazy, any Taurus. Where to put it? Instead of banging your forehead repeatedly on your desk, try a gentle kiss of honey calcite there instead. When to use it. When the barriers to abundance feel too big to power through. When it is time to stop waiting your turn and stop waiting until tomorrow. Picture yourself triumphant on the other side of whatever stands in your way and call upon honey calcite to kick in the door. Break through your limits. Next we have Tektite. And what is it? Tektite describes any natural glass formed as a result of a meteor impacts with our blue planet. Modern science deems the stones terrestrial in composition, i.e. of this earth. But believers in ancient astronauts have other theories. Who needs it? I hail from the star in Orion's belt people. Those currently overburdened by resentments. Where to put it? On your UFO landing pad or beside your meditation cushion. When to use it? When gravity feels extra heavy and it's time to initiate launch sequence and blast off. When you're bored with Earth life and want to expand your intergalactic horizons. Raise your vibrations. So please keep in mind the P.O.I. of Aries, that these are the themes that will be running through your reading. Now, the first question that I asked is how you see yourself. And we have blessings, child nature, rescuer, false person, courthouse, entrapment, and hole in the soul. Okay. Now the first one, blessings. It says, Holy Spring. Immersed blessings are emerging into your life from those in spirit. Angel guides and spirit guardians are watching over you. An angelic intervention is available to you. Be open to the voice of the divine. Messages are all around you. You are protected. You are safe. Have faith that your path is guided. Watch for signs that spiritual beings are present. Profound healing energy is flowing to you in wondrous ways. Refreshing, replenishing energy is filling your life. Now, the archetype that you received for yourself was child nature. And in the light attributes, it's friendships with animals, communication with nature spirits. But in the shadow attributes, it's a tendency to abuse animals, people, and the environment. A rescuer in its light attributes it provides strength and support to others in crisis, acts out of love with no expectation of reward. But in the shadow attributes, it assumes that the rescued will reciprocate, keeps rescued one needy. And this speaks of a false person and a courthouse. So you have to be very careful of your intentions in a legal matter that might be arising, because you're seeing yourself as a false person, or somebody is dealing with a false person within a courthouse or a legal system. Okay? Then we have entrapment, number 34. And it says, are you letting too many things in your environment control your life? You have drawn this card because it is time for a shift in personal power. You are encouraged to take responsibility for your life and choose new ways of thinking that create change. The reality is that for you to make the change you want, need, and desire, you need a system, daily discipline, and motivation. As long as you blame outside influences for any circumstances in your life, you are powerless. It's the government, your abusive background, the interest rate, and the bank's fault. The system that many ultra successful people use is they read books every day, listen to audios, go to as many seminars as they can, practice recognizing others' achievements, and form relationships with like-minded people. And then you have 36, which is hole in the soul. It says your childhood wounds are creating a hole in your soul. One way your childhood wounds disrupt an extraordinary life is through low-grade depression experienced as perpetual empty feeling. If, as a child, you tried to make everything all right by picking up the pieces of your family's drama, then you adopted a false self. Notice the false person. When you lose your authentic self, you disconnect from your true feelings, needs, and desires. Instead, you wear a mask and make others feel more comfortable. Being detached leads a profound loneliness and isolation as you're always mourning your true self. This card encourages you to discover your true self through learning about your childhood and mourning the abandonment and neglect you felt. So there's a lot of talk about childhood woundings, right? Because the home card said the same thing. And the honey and tektite also mentioned you being lackluster due to woundings. So it's very obvious right now that you're dealing with some internal feelings that maybe you're wearing a mask and smiling and not really dealing with these childhood woundings that are causing chaos in your life at the moment. But you should be rest assured that you have blessings coming into your life, but you're just going to have to be authentic with yourself and those around you. You know, and learn how to deal with the childhood woundings that are keeping you entrapped. The next question that I asked is how you see Aries. And we have Spark, One Ring Circus, Networker, Poverty, and Self-Love. Excuse me. Spark number 34. It says, you are a clear channel for divine creativity. It says there is a spark of creativity in you and you have every reason to move forward with optimism and hope. Open yourself to inspiration and allow life to show you its beauty and your part in creating it. This is the perfect time to give birth to an idea, start a new relationship or job, or begin any endeavor. Attraction is high as you connect with others who can co-create joyous experiences and join with you in expressing the finer aspects of life. Watching a spark turn to a flame and stoking that fire is a gratifying activity, right? And number 15, One Ring Circus. It says you are capable and competent. It says independence is key now as you step into your journey today. Others may not have the vision or resources that you need. Recognize that all the wisdom you've acquired along the way makes you particularly competent, capable of moving forward with assurance. Self-reliance is important. Another aspect to consider is creating and maintaining clear boundaries between you and another. Be discerning about your partnerships at this time. When you know who you are and have a healthy sense of where you end and others begin, you're able to enter into the best kind of relationship and will attract people who mirror back your wholeness. Interdependent relationships are always mutually supportive, stimulating, and transformative. You can achieve anything at this time. And for the attribute, the archetype that you see Aries as is a networker. In the light attribute, enhances unity through the sharing of information, engenders social awareness and empathy. And in the shadow attribute, it conveys information only for personal gain, spreads fear and falsehood, right? But you also see them as someone who is going through poverty right now that, you know, is facing a hard time. So even though they're at a point where they're creating something new, and they have all the competence to do so. You seeing that right now it's at the beginning stages, and it's not financially fruitful as you would like it to be at the moment. Self-love, number 24. Self-love. It says, take time to get to know yourself and what works for you in this particular cycle of your life. Some of the bigger obstacles of self-love are self-criticism and perfectionism, which lead to harsh judgment of self, closing down, and eventually illness. Have you been trying to compete with others, get approval from people in your family, or simply pushing yourself too hard? If so, you need to soften and start listening to your body. Focus on keeping your heart open and practice acknowledging and recognizing the good in yourself and others. This card beckons you to breathe love in and out of every moment of the day. Ask yourself, what changes do I need to make to my daily routine so that love can pulsate through every breath, action, and relationship I engage in? Choose to open your heart through softness, deep breathing, relaxation, movement, finding beauty in nature, in your home, in your pain, in your love, in your sadness, in your prayer, etc. Keep your heart open even though it makes you feel vulnerable and exposed. So yeah, you see them at a point now where they're totally coming fully into their character of who they want to be. And they're growing to a point of self-love because they've learned that self-reliance is key in order for them to get to the necessary the bounty and abundance that they're looking for. Okay? The next question that I ask is how you see the relationship. And we have freedom, pleasure, gentle gardener, imprisonment, and child, miracle, and self-worth. Wow, I just got 2 hits, but we'll get into the meanings first, and then, okay. Freedom. It says cliff, swallow. Express yourself without hesitation. Break free and let your spirit fly. Make choices that increase your freedom. Don't be tied down. Laugh, dance, explore, and go beyond predictable behavior. Be daring. Cast aside restrictions. Find your wings. As you do, you'll help others find theirs. You are not here to be ordinary or to live a mundane life. You are here to step beyond limitations and self-imposed barriers. Do not be trapped by convention or the need to please others. Choose life on your terms. Don't accept rules that don't feel right. You can be immensely free and yet still be part of a loving, supportive community. The next we have is pleasure. Luminous meadow. It says savor your life, each and every part of it. Take pleasure in slowing down and experiencing each of your senses. Taste your food with full gusto. Inhale the scents of the world around you. Enjoy the colors and the textures of your life. This is truly a stop and smell the roses card. Embrace your sensuality. Move in a languid way. Let pleasures be your password into every intimate part of your life. Allow your life to be less about being productive and more about enjoying each moment with fervor. And a radiant energy will flow through you in all directions of your life. And 2, you have the gentle gardener. It says, be your own person. Be cautious. Be a conscious co-creator. The gentle gardener is visiting you at this moment in your life to remind you that your thoughts, feelings, and beliefs create the reality you experience. She is the embodiment of the energy within you that is sent out into the field of co-creation and ensures that all that you are is reflected in the world of form. Are you aware of your thoughts? What is their quality? Believe in limitless possibilities and you will see miracles unfold. The gentle gardener guarantees the integrity of everything you send out into the world. Stay positive and expect a wondrous return. Your garden is abundant with beauty. Now, the imprisonment card speaks to you feeling trapped. And what this card reminds me of is the poverty card. Because just as the mice is here, you can see the rat next to the boy who is a chimney sweeper, right? But you see that even though you're probably feeling trapped through lack of finances, you know within yourself that word sound is power, and you create the life that you want. So it's reminding you that you have the power to change things in your life, because you see this relationship as a point of freedom for you, of a point that allows you to be your true authentic self and find pleasure in the wonderful things, you know? And again, with the child speaks about new beginnings. It does also speaks about children, but it speaks mostly about a new beginning, you know? So it's telling you again that you have to deal with these inner child woundings and really heal anything that might be questioning your self-worth. Because you guys have miracles available to you. Twice in your deck in this what you're expecting, or how you see the relationship, how you see the relationship, it speaks of miracles, but you're going to have to be the one to carry forth that into the world by your thoughts and your emotions. Okay, next is what you're expecting. We have goblins, heal the ouch, occupation, unexpected income, the mature woman, and message of concern. We have recovery and abundance. Okay. So this is absolutely beautiful. Let's get into the messages of the goblin first before we get into the actual. Okay. It says, fear is an illusion. Choose love today. Forgive yourself and others. Goblins are born when you're wounded and something essential is lost in that experience. From that point on, as you forget your wholeness, they remain with you in the shadows. There, they remind you of what brought them into being. By mimicking your own voice, tricking you into believing that you're unworthy, victimized, or unlovable, they hold you hostage through low self-worth, self-sabotage, and the feeling that you're lacking what you need. If goblins pay you a visit, know that they represent the shadow of your own self or someone else's, and that they're leading you into a potentially reactive situation. A goblin's card appears as an opportunity for growth, however, and a signal that you must love yourself. No human is without flaws. The goblin's message is that you must release resentments and negative self-talk. Within you is the spark of the divine. Ask Spirit to help you heal. Miracles can and do happen. Let go of the negativity. Heal the ouch, number 38. Forgiveness is the healer of the soul. It says, this is a time of great soothing of the heart, body, soul, and mind. As this card indicates that healing will be healing would be prevalent in your life now. If you feel drawn to study the healing arts, you'll be successful in developing your natural capacity to restore others to wellness. However, the message may be that you're being called to change your behaviors in order to heal the earth. Perhaps you'll switch to a cruelty-free diet, eating less meat. Or perhaps you'll pay more attention to how much water or electricity you use. You're asked to be conscious of your footprint on the sacred earth and all of life, and to commit to the healing path. The heal the ouch card may also be an indicator of old wounds and broken bonds being mended. Reconciliations are possible now. Let bygones be bygones. Okay. Well, I got a few hits off of this, so we'll just speak to the first one. If you are having a problem with someone at your work that is a mature woman, it's telling you that you're going to be able to recover that because you'll be given the key to a door where there's no more locked doors, right? Or you could be receiving a message of concern from an older woman, which will result in unexpected income, right? Because this card also speaks of, just like how Heal the Ouch speaks of, being careful with how you're spending. Because this card, the gold coin, was lost by this man, right? And he spent all his time in a woe is me, depressed state, going and drinking away the rest of his life. When this young girl came and she saw the gold coin, and what she did was get a piece of bubblegum and a string and fished it out of the sewer. And she saved up all these gold coins and bought herself a house, which led to her abundance, which it was the same gold coin that he spent his life in regret over, drinking away and not making positive changes in his life. Now, this is not to say that you're a person who drinks away your life, but it's just as bad if you lived your whole life mourning past situations and not making right actions to take you to exactly where you want to be. Because if your occupation is end up giving you a message of concern, you're going to have to be able to step into the mature woman in order to bring in this unexpected income. But you're not going to be able to do that unless you deal with these goblins that are rummaging your spirit. Okay? But again, a lot of this reading is speaking about inner turmoil and childhood woundings and forgiving the past. But it's telling you have the ability to do so right now. You're being given the key by Spirit in order to have a happier, more fulfilling, more successful life. But you're going to have to face your inner demons and get them under control. Lastly, the outcome. And we have deep freeze, coffin, the house, cosmic heart, and the lover and beloved, and the beloved. Deep freeze, number 26. And it's an 8, so that means that this is cyclical. So this is about ebbs and flows in your life. Okay, deep freeze. Everything has its season. Now is the time to put activity on hold while you rest. The cold winter beckons you to slow down and put a freeze on things that are not yet ready to bloom. It is time for it's time for regeneration and hibernation. Fargo ambitious activity. A pregnant pause allows ideas to gestate, projects to shift and change, and relationships to go through a dreamy state of being. Not going anywhere, not needing to. This is also a time to put all your arguments on ice. Nothing beneficial will come from any of them. Self-care is the most important activity now. So reflect, read a good book, or get a massage. Rest and dream. Exactly. So if there is any kind of mayhem happening in your life, it's telling you not to feed into that energy. Because the coffin is here, and when people see this, they do become afraid and automatically think of death. But the coffin more represents a cycle of death and rebirth. So a cycle of one portion of your life ending and a beginning of a new. So it's not so much about a physical death, of more of a spiritual one. And what this is saying is that it's going to be more so pertaining to your house, your household environment, your family life, those who you find as kindred spirits. Okay? And Cosmic Heart, number 8. It says, there is a time on the journey of love when you are prepared to engage more completely with the heart of the divine. It may also feel like being beaten, pummeled, and simmered and stirred in a pot of the divine. This is a courageous and bold process, yet it is one that will likely take us right to the place we would rather avoid, places of confrontation with pain, but where the loss of this grip on your being no longer let us quake and retreat from life in fear or uncertainty. The realization your attempts at control amount to not so much actually. Why not abandon them altogether? Confront every part of your being that holds itself back in resistance to what is. Become comfortable with the possible discomfort of not knowing. You have been asked to trust in your own heart wisdom when mind was terrorized by nightmares and hallucination of fear. They were so powerful, you were certain they must be real. It can be startling to parts of you unused to such wild, unconditional affection and rowdy playfulness. You may worry that the great love is not going to be careful enough with you. You shall be forced to surrender your useless intelligence and become mindless. You will no longer have to find the way, for you will become the way. You will attempt to hold on to what has been. Don't. Okay. Number 35. The Lover and the Beloved. It says something has to change in your physical world. You are in need of more sustenance, more love, more connection, and more nourishment that touches your body and soul and brings them into deeper oneness with each other, with life, with love. If you find this difficult, now is the time to gently, carefully tend to the walls you have placed between yourself and life. Walls of tentativeness, excessive caution, fear of abandonment and betrayal, doubt of your own lovableness, and doubts based on past pain without substance. You are much greater than those crumbling walls. There are stuff that is designed for demolition, not devotion or honoring. Can you begin to unpack the bricks you mistakenly believed were essential to your safety and well-being? So this whole reading speaks of us that are sabotaging your present. So it's asking you that you take the time right now to do a deep freeze. To allow the cycle of pain and self-sabotage to come to an end. And you can restore your home to the happy place that it is and needs to continue to be by dealing with these self-woundings. Okay. Well, I thank you so much for coming to the Black Hearted Oracle. I pray these messages found you well, and I hope that you find your higher self in the quiet places, and may Ma'at hold you in her loving grace. Ashe.